Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And good evening, everyone, live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. This is Keep It in the Ring. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Also to String Punk Entertainment and TD Sports Talk. My buddy, co-host, and colleague, Tommy D, will join me in a moment. I'll Keep It in the Ring for Thursday, October 23, 2025. The boxing calendar, as always, scrolled at the bottom of your screen. And my social media handles, X, Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, also on Instagram, and read my content, Latinosports.com, and other outlets. Appreciate your continued support, as always, here at Keep It in the Ring, and we have a lot, of course, in the hour ahead, and we'll be talking about Teofimo Lopez, and when is his next fight? More details on that in a moment, about the champ with his takeover. Danny Garcia, the farewell in Brooklyn at Barclays Center. We'll run that down and look at what's next for Danny Garcia. Was it his farewell? Maybe not. Latest fight news, of course, and we've got a lot of that, including the continued feud or war of words with Eddie Hearn, the Turk guy, and Dana White about their new league and what's in store in the new year with them. Of course, we also look at the pro wrestling later in the hour, and the Seth Rollins injury is legitimate. It's not a swerve. We found that out. The latest on that with the Pro Wrestling Report, the fact of the week, the nostalgia. We got it all, as always, at Keep It in the Ring in the next hour. I'm Rich Mancuso. Let's get right to it. Thank you once again, my friends. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here at YouTube, Rich Mancuso. Well, we're going to talk about Teofimo Lopez in a moment and discuss possibly what he said to me the other night at the Barclays Center about his next fight. The takeover champ, as he has become known, has a lot of ambition in him, and he says it's probably going to be in January and in New York City. And we're going to get to that right now. Let me bring in right away my colleague, my producer, my co-host, Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Tom, welcome in, my friend. Where are you? And don't mute yourself now. He seems to do that every once in a while.
No, I'm good.
There he is.
You can hear me loud and clear, too, so we're good.
I do. Great to see you as always, Tom. I always smile when I see you, and, of course, appreciate your continued help all the time getting Keep It in the Ring going here live on Thursday night. Hey, Tom, we're going to talk about Teofimo Lopez right away. We were at Barclays Center on Saturday night, the Danny Garcia Farewell. We'll talk about him in a moment. But it was interesting because I managed to get a lot of time with the champ on Saturday night at the Barclays Center and was hoping to get him on the program tonight. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. Maybe he will come on. But in the meantime, let's talk about it because he's the two-division champion, Teofimo Lopez. We all know, unified the lightweight titles at one time. Got Lomachenko, unanimous decision. First since the COVID situation ended when boxing returned with no one there to see it. And in that fight, of course, we know what he did against Lomachenko. 50 of 90 punches thrown in the last round. Used the jab effectively, the body shots effectively. And then, of course, we had the Gambosis fight. He moves up in weight. Is he still with Top Rank? Well, I've managed to see that he still is, but he's working more now with the Turk guy over there in Saudi Arabia, where most of the big-name fighters are and where the fight action is with the Turk guy and now with Dana White. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. But here's a deal, Tom. At Barclays Center, the 28-year-old who has a lot of fight left in him, I approached him first about the rumors, all the talk about his next fight. Everybody's been talking about him and Shakur Stevenson, the champion also at 140. And 135, but it would probably go up in weight for this fight, obviously.
Go up to challenge Teo for his
and then we talked about that. We talked about his last fight in Times Square, the ring event that was a disaster to many, but Teofimo Lopez and Barbosa Jr. had the highlight fight that saved that card a little bit. And I discussed with Timo how effective he was during that fight, how he stole the show, as everyone said, and we all wrote about. And then, at first, I said, when is the next fight? Everyone's talking about him and Shakur. The rumor is New York City in January. Where in New York, we don't know. Turned away and said, you'll have to keep tuning in to find out. All right, moments later, I get off the podium ringside area that we had. Teofimo's doing the TV commentary as one of the three for Millions pay-per-view. And, let's just say we met up again. And this started to get more deep in conversation. And we talked about his career and how effective he's been, about his charismatic style, how he's a showman, we all know that, how good of a fighter he is, what a good champion is, how good he can be for boxing as he is, as one of the young superstars in the sport. And let's face it, he's 28 years of age. He is that young superstar in the sport. And so we finally got to it, and again, I prodded him on the question. As the journalist I am, Tio, you can tell me, when is the next fight? If it is indeed against Shakur Stevenson, as everyone is saying, is it in New York City, as everyone's been reporting, and when? Or where? His answer to me, Tom, was, it's happening in January in New York City. No date, no venue, but that's what his comment was to me. And you know what? I saw another side of Teofimo, excuse me, personally, one-on-one, because we've developed that type of rapport, and he was able to confide with me in a few other things that I'm not going to report. Nothing bad or negative at all, though. All positive stuff coming from the champion Teofimo Lopez. But I had to find out. I mean, I got the word from him directly telling me that, even though it's not official, just still rumor, that is indeed his next opponent's going to be the mega fight in January in New York City against Shakur Stevenson. And everybody been talking about it. As we look at some images of his last fight in Times Square on May 1st, the ring event with the Turk guy and Dana White in Times Square that became a disaster. His fight there against Barbosa Jr., where he retained his title. Now, Tom, what are your thoughts about this? Teofimo and Shakur, are we to believe that? And what have you heard on your end, especially Saturday night, because everyone was asking him about that as well? And where would it be, you think, in New York City if it does happen in January, as Teofimo says?
That's a good question. I do not know. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around about other fighters that's going to be on this supposed card, and Ring is going to be done by Ring. And it's, I guess the Turk guy and this, Ring, and they're doing it. They say New York City. They say January. They said Tio would fight Shakur, and the reason why it's kind of so late is to give Shakur some time for his hands. That's what people are saying. I'm not saying it. You're not saying it. This is the kind of the rumors that we hear. And then we heard, you spoke to Tio, and he kind of doubled down and said that was the fight that was happening in January. And we was hoping to have him on today, and he was going to, maybe announce that. Also, was a rumor was that he was one of the guys in line to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's supposed to be coming back, and he hasn't really named an opponent yet. So he was also in line for that. And that
also,
was
and also you bring up another name. Boots Ennis has been looking for Teofimo at 154 or not 147, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could believe that because 154 is not happening for Teofimo Lopez.
No, not
but that fight's been called out.
Yeah.
But the fight that the fans want to see, that we want to see, would be a mega fight to start off the new year in New York City, supposedly. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, two of the young, exciting superstars in boxing today.
Yeah, that would be a big fight, and both in kind of the tri-state area. Teofimo, and his father raised in Brooklyn, New York, and Teofimo has a lot of ties there in Brooklyn. Yes, he does live down south in Florida, but he has a lot of ties here in New York City as well. And then Shakur, right across the bridge in Newark. He'll bring his fans. So, I think that's a mega fight. That's a real quality, good main event. It's a good test for both fighters. Shakur, in my opinion, is top 3 pound for pound in the business. That's just an opinion, right? And it's a big fight with Teofimo. Teofimo, with the problem with me and Teofimo is that I wish he'd be more active. He hasn't fought since May, and now we're what 5 months later, and we got to wait to January, and last year I think he fought twice, 6 months apart if I'm not mistaken, right? He fought I think early on in February, and I think it's Jermaine Ortiz, and I think he had the fight with Claggett. So that's the thing. But this
Yeah.
is what we want to see. I think other fighters on the card. They were saying Matias against Dalton Smith was supposed to be on this card as well in January, and I think another name fight also. I just can't get it, but it'll probably come to me towards the end of the show. But this sounds good. I just don't know where they can have it. Madison Square
No.
Garden would be tough. They can't
The
do it.
Garden's tough because the Rangers and Knicks are tied up there in
Yeah.
January with a full-fledged schedule. There is a gap that might be able to get it in. I was checking into that. You can't do it at Barclays Center because this fight, well, the Garden would hold 19. It'd have to be in the main arena, 19,000.
Yeah.
You can't do it in the arena in the Hulu Theater adjacent to the main arena. It's
Hold on
only
one second.
5,500.
I got to cut you. He's here.
Hey, we got him, huh?
All right, go ahead. You doubted him. Hold on.
I was getting my doubts, but I should never doubt the champ. And there he is, the takeover, Teofimo Lopez. Hey, white champ, I had my doubts, but you're here.
Yes.
How you doing today? I know you're busy, and I appreciate this time. I really do. It's a pleasure to have you on here one-on-one with Tommy D, my co-host. And, we were talking about this potential, reportedly, maybe fight with you and Shakur Stevenson. And can you confirm anything on that as of now?
As of now, my team is pretty much, setting everything up as far as like contractuals go, and I think that people should be in tuned on seeing an announcement very soon.
Now,
So
that would be sometime in January in New York City, as we discussed the other night at Barclays Center. Any idea where it would be? Have you heard any venue possibilities, champ?
a lot is going on at the moment, especially when it comes to the magnitude of fights like this. I think that my team is really focused on something early of the first quarter of this year. And with that being said, obviously, I think the fans would love for the fight to be hosted in New York, here in the East Side, in the East Coast. However, it's up to the people in Saudi what they want to do with it. If they believe it makes sense in the U.S., it could land in Vegas, it could land in New York, it can even land in somewhere in Texas. Who knows? I know what I know at the moment, and it looks promising that it could happen here in the U.S.
Yeah, would you love to do it in New York? And this is where you have a lot of your
I just
supporters.
want
And
to. I mean, for the fans and everything, absolutely. I would love for it to be there so that people can really be there for a historic night when I give Shakur Stevenson his first loss. So I think that that's really what I would like. However, as long as we get a fight going and we get the ball rolling and moving, I think that that's all that really matters. People want to see me in the ring already, and I think they want to see me now rather than next year.
yeah, Tom had brought up some of your inactivity. You haven't fought since beginning of May.
Yeah,
And I know you want to keep busy. I know you. That's how you are.
yeah.
You remind me, as we discuss so much, of the old school fighter that has to be in there. And I know you like to fight 3-4 times a year if you could, and we know that's not possible with everything that goes on. But champ, first of all, coming off the Barbosa fight, before I bring Tom into the picture, how you feeling? Everything is good, and you're staying in shape. And by the way, you got a career after you get out of the ring because you did a great job on Millions pay-per-view the other night, my friend.
Thank you, Rich. That means a lot coming from you and someone that's been in the game far longer than before I was born. So I think that it means a lot coming from you. Nevertheless, though, you know, um, a lot of people say I haven't fought. I fight once a year and this and that's not really the case. It's not. Leading up to the 140 division, when I came into it, I fought 3 times in a matter of 10 months. But many people out there just don't you really speak on that. They speak on just the inactivity that they see and they want to believe. But hitting at this stature of boxing now, you see great fighters fight twice a year, if anything, and that's it. So it kind of sucks in that way. I think the only one that's really pushing that needle right now is Inoue or Inui at 4 times this year. You know, that's what he's aiming at, and I think that's what I'm looking forward to possibly doing in 2026. You know, so um, but in the meantime, just staying active, staying honestly ready for anything and everything. You know, I would like to face other opposition out there. You know, but when it comes to these promoters, managers, and so on and so forth, coaches, it makes it a little bit difficult for everybody.
Yeah, you're 28 years of age, and you still got a lot of time. A lot of
Yeah,
time, but
hmm
you're young enough to keep going.
but you can't rely on that in this sport.
No, not in boxing. We know that. We know
Yeah.
that. As strong and as athletic as you are,
Mhm.
and that Barbosa fight, you stole the show. There's no doubt about it in Times Square, the beginning of May. All right, Tom, it's your chance to question the champ a little bit. And Tommy D, this is Teofimo Lopez. You might have seen Tommy with me at ringside.
Yeah, I've seen
For
Tino
sure.
a few times, Tino. So what's good to you, man? Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you, showing love to my man Rich Mancuso. He was worried, I'm not gonna lie. He was worried that you wasn't gonna know show. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh,
I have
um
that about fighters and all athletes in my career, but not Teofimo. He's here.
yeah.
yeah.
So like real quick, so basically, are you confirming that Shakur is pretty much the next guy? Is it Shakur? Because a lot of rumors out there saying that Manny Pacquiao might have been on that list as well as an opponent.
You know, I'm grateful to be in the position I'm in. You know,
Hmm.
that's really it. Really, I think that trying to get these other fights involved, it's been a little bit hard, especially in this division. Not a lot of people have that backing of a fan base or name in this weight division. And I think there's guys that have to come up in my weight, or I have to meet them up. You know, and I think
Hmm.
that's the only way it makes sense for everybody to come into play. A lot of people want to see me eventually with me and Hitchens, but you know, from what I've heard on the behind the scenes, they still need him to build up his fan base, his name, and it kind of bothers me in the sense. But this is um, the whole new strategy for boxing now. It's a business
Yeah.
more than it's ever been. So it's not about just, I like you, let me fight you, and let's make this happen for the people out there. It's more so it's gonna make money for everybody. But going to it, yeah, me and Shakur, obviously he's willing to fight me. I'm willing to defend my world titles once again against a fighter like him. I think that there's no reason, there's no doubt for it to not happen.
Hmm.
You know, it's just people gotta understand when it comes to things like this takes a little longer. That's just what it is. It takes a little
Yeah,
longer.
to put
Doesn't
a
mean
mega
that
fight together like that, it's a mega fight. Yeah,
we're
it's not
talking
going to happen
about
like right away. Yeah.
we're talking about over 8-figure fights for each fighter. So
Yeah.
this takes a while.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen overnight. These are deals that, some people will wish to have in a lifetime. So
Hmm.
these are just things that happen in the sport, and especially now that we have the Saudi Arabians and people from the Middle East, there's the way they handle business is a little bit more unorthodox than we're normally used to with promoters and networks from the US.
Are
So
you still with contracted? Sorry, Tom.
yeah.
Champ, are you still contracted with Top Rank, or is that alliance over with?
It's like yes and no. I guess that's where I'm at. It's a yes and no. I owe them promotional fees for the next two fights, but other than that, I could go anywhere, any promoter, any network, any type of deal, any fight, anywhere I could go. Yeah, but they'll get their cut out of the next
Okay.
two fights. This one in the early of this year, and we're trying to knock these two out early in the first quarter, so that way the next two quarters of 2026, I'm making lucrative deals and collecting at least most of the percentage for every fight.
Do you like fighting in Saudi Arabia though? Do you like it there a lot? The whole
I
thing.
just, to be honest, I just want to be on the limelight. I just want to be there. I just want to fight. That's really what it is. I'm at the point where I'm about to enter my prime, and I want the world to see a different version of me. I think you guys were all able to see that against an undefeated fighter like Arnold Barboza, Mexican, tough, rugged, awkward fighter, and we schooled him. And I think that that's
You
because
did.
I'm in the comings of going into my
Yeah.
prime.
You did 100 in that fight. 127 of 574 punches.
Hmm.
That's what you did. That's what you the
Yeah, but
highlight.
it's like, I mean, it's I'm not. This is my opinion though. I'm not too fond on like combo box. I'm not.
No, I only bring them up because I know fans like to hear that, but
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
a
yeah.
fan
But
of them either.
I'm
Yeah.
not too much of a fan on them. The Canobios, they're great people. Don't get me wrong, outside the ring, but um, in today's world, as you can see with the Ali Act and everything, you just don't know who's telling what the truth and what. So
Yeah, now you jumped ahead because you're bringing that up now. There's a lot of things going on with the Muhammad Ali Act and Dana White and the Turk guy. That act was supposed to protect fighters. What is your feeling about that? If you can comment on that.
if I can comment on it, I mean, like it's just strategies that those who have power are trying to demand. I think that those that are they got their balls hanging down to the floor and they just feel like they could drag them anywhere. And I
Yeah.
think that's the issue here. But it's a bigger issue for the young fighters that are coming into the pros now. For guys like myself, I don't think we'll have that much of an issue. You know, I think that for anyone else, though, it's gonna be a lot harder if they pass this. It's not a good look at all, and
No.
I think a lot of us should come into a petition or something in this sort and kind of fight back on it as far as all the champions and all the names that are in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I think we
definitely
should all
agree.
at least come together as a community because who is, when you think of the best fighter in the world, is Muhammad Ali? Who do you think of that's been the pride and the heart of boxing, Muhammad Ali? For these guys that have came up and those that are around it
Right.
now. You see Muhammad Ali's face, Mike Tyson's face all around the world, and I think it's time that we defend that in our honor of what they've done for us, paved the way. Um,
Well
but
said. Well
but
said.
many people are gonna get cut from it, and many are not gonna want to get cut. I'm used to being that guy at the front line of it and trying to defend, because we risk our life. Yeah, we sign up for it, of course. You know what I mean? But so does every other sport and athlete out there. I think that but we do it for the entertainment for everybody out there.
Well said, champ. Go ahead, Tom.
I got a few questions, but one, I want to go back. You was talking about the business
Yeah.
itself, and you've been very vocal about the politics of boxing. What would you do if you was a suit to change some of the things that are happening in boxing that you disagree with or you dislike?
I think the things that I could, and if I could change that, I'm aiming towards it now. It's more so about just letting the guys fight. I mean, stop trying to create, stop trying to put so much assets and investments on one particular person or item, so to speak, because we're like just a project or a product. Stop focusing on one just because you feel like they fit the image. Instead, spread them around like they used to, and just have a free for all. Let everybody fight each other. Yes, they get an X amount of amounts, but in the same time, we get to see who's the real deal and who's really not. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we're seeing is that they put so much investments and money on one particular product that they forget that there's others out there that are working harder, probably even a lot better, and it kind of takes away the income, what they're really trying to aim for, which is the viewerships. Another thing, educating the fighters on becoming their own person, learning how to talk on interviews, learning how to every question turn that into an answer, and actually having them not look like rappers, or so to speak, having them look more of a role model. I think if you look back in the times of the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, they all were nice suited, had a nice look to them outside the ring, very charismatic, and they were all about the people. I think another thing is stop allowing managers, promoters to get involved in how to personally get with these fighters. I think they just need to treat us as the prize fighters, right? But not get too much involved emotionally on like I don't like you, so I'm gonna sit you down or I'm gonna sit you out. Stop making it so much personal. Remove the personal with business. I think that we see that a lot today. I dealt with that a lot with Todd DeBuff from Top Rank. I dealt with that a lot with them, just because the guy didn't like us, and obviously we're at the point now where we've scattered from it. we've ended that chapter. Got nothing bad to say about the guy. Wishing him success in their journey on where they strike and where they land for a TV deal. But other than that, I think that there's situations where you guys gotta. A lot of people just need the fighters and let them be their own person. You know.
Yeah, it's all a business. That's what it is. It's become that big. Not like years ago when you didn't have the money that's out there now and the streaming networks that do it as well. Speaking of that, when you go back in the past, as you were growing up, and got into this sport, and you have to admire a champion like you that goes in there every time and takes those punches and do what you do. Who did you admire? Some of the fighters of the past as you were growing up.
I admired surprisingly who I did admire was Mike Tyson for his rage, his anger. Not the way he was able to express it out there, but the way that I was like, that is everything I am, but I need to learn how to control it inside. Another fighter that I actually did like a lot and was someone that obviously you could always think of as a textbook that you should always check and look into was Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali. Those two right there, the way they were able to carry themselves outside the ring when people wanted to show their dominance as an alpha, and the way they just smiled and allowed them to think that they could do all those things and just required their energy to put into motion into something else that really mattered, which was an example, inspiring others, focusing on
And
kids, you know,
yeah, yeah.
and each one taught me many different varies of ways to live my life. I'd say there's so many to that you could think of off the bat. Roberto Duran, another one. I think he shows an example of a champion's heart. He faced everybody, literally faced everybody. Went to multiple weight divisions people felt like he didn't need to go up to, and he still did. Became champion in those divisions. Um, I can name so many other champions, so many other fighters, but I think you put all of them together, you figure out what character you want to be from them, and you put them into your arsenal, and that's what you get today with Teofimo. I looked at each one in a different way on how to carry my life. Evander Holyfield, another one. You speak on financial on how to move your money. Instead of buying a home that had 50 plus rooms, you buy a home that is going to be affordable and pleasing and comforting to your level of finance.
Is that the way? Is that the way you speak to young people and you approach many of them? I know they come up to you for autographs or whatever, get advice. Do you give them that type of advice when they confront you? How to be
Yeah.
the next
Well,
Teofimo Lopez?
I tell them like, cause they say they want to be like me. I just say be better than me. That's really what it is. Be better than me. I mean, don't be like me, cause I did what I did. There's only one of me, but be better than me. Aim for a better. If you could become undisputed or become world champion at 21, like Fernando Vargas or 20. Beat those prime guys. Beat us. That's the whole purpose of evolution is to become better and evolve better with time. I don't want guys to do what I did. I want them to do it better and faster and quicker and nicer.
No, you've
you
done
know?
you've accomplished so much so far at 28 years old. This takeover continues, and Teofimo Lopez unified the lightweight division. And when you can do something like that, you put yourself into boxing history, which you've done, and you continue to do that. And
I
I
don't know,
mean,
man. This game is tricky. I'm sure
yeah,
folks. Yeah,
yeah.
it's tricky. I don't
Believe
even.
me, 43 years or more around it, I've seen how tricky it is.
I
The
can't.
shenanigans, the cutthroat, and how things could go quickly well and down. But you seem to always bounce back. You have the right formula all the time. You got your
Thank
dad on your side, and you seem to always bounce back and just move on and accomplish what you want to do. What goes into that mentality with you, champ?
It's your bread and butter. No one's gonna feed you. You gotta go out there and make your food. You gotta go out there and hunt. You gotta go out there and make a living for your legacy, for your life, for your name. No one's gonna remember someone that quits. They're gonna remember someone that kept going, that never quit. I think someone that's strong and they could they could literally destroy their career and rebuild their career at the same time. That's something that you rarely see in today's world.
Right.
Uh, and not to rely on anybody, just on my faith. I really hold on to my faith a lot. My faith is really what creates all these miracles to happen in my life, creates the impossible to possible. What I've done is not by me, but by something much greater, and I always will rely on that. And then another thing, I think, when I think about all these things, I even with the doing what I've done, just in beating two top pound for pound fighters, undisputed fighters, almost nearly Loma almost became undisputed, but I took that from him. But just defeating guys like the Taylors as well, the Comeys, and everything of that nature, I think I can't rely on the um the people from the Hall of Fame to put me as a first ballot. I can't rely on that. So I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I
Yeah,
can't rely on
yeah.
people's perceptions and perspectives of who's a Hall of Famer or not. So beating a guy like Shakur, that's just another one on my columns. Let's keep him going. Let's keep ranking them up. And maybe one day because I looked at the media today. I look at media every day, and it's
Right.
almost the same. Well, after I'm done in the gym, and it's almost the same. People throw out the same narratives, and
Yeah,
eventually, when you
yeah.
keep throwing the same narratives,
Yeah,
eventually
it's a different
people are gonna
world.
believe. So
Yeah,
Theo,
they may
Theo,
say I
I
can
gotta
yeah.
rely on
ask you though.
anybody.
Yeah, I gotta ask you though. We got you here, and you can answer the question. So, like, you had an opportunity from what we see in the media,
Mhm.
and what we hear. Like, you had an opportunity to fight Devin Haney. Was that offer
Yeah.
real? Like, what happened with that offer? Why that
Devin
fight
Haney
didn't
didn't
make?
work. It did not match. It did not match due to the fact that certain things in the contract didn't go exactly as we agreed to. That's it. And I'm sorry for everybody. I'm just not gonna be that guy to take it or leave it anymore. I've done it numerous of times. For
What
me to
can you
always
name one
keep
of the
getting that.
things that wasn't an agreement? Is that possible?
What wasn't an agreement that wasn't possible. That was not possible. I think the weight was not. That was the issue.
He
Why
wanted to
Right.
not
fight
just
at
fight at
what?
140?
He wanted to fight at 140
No, they
or
wanted to fight at 147 or
okay,
140, not even like a catch weight.
I see.
Yeah. Why
Okay.
not just
Yes.
fight at my weight? Because they can't make 40 no more.
Hey, that's a very interesting
Why?
point.
And after his last performance, why do I have to stoop down to your preference because you're
Right.
Devin Haney? Uh, if you think about it, Rich, champion is champion. Champion, okay, think about a guy that has his throne. A throne, you're not gonna take out his seat. Come in here, Devin, just because you have the people of the masses
Right.
backing you up. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
sorry
Right.
for my language,
Right.
but excuse my language, but
That's
No,
all
no,
right.
no. That's all right.
But,
You
but
can do it. I'll let you do it.
can I counter that, Tio? I mean, I just keeping it real. You can keep
just
it
by
real with
doing
me.
look, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, Tom, before you do that.
Hmm.
I've done so much in such little that I've had people try to mimic it, but they can never duplicate it because it's for one guy only. I don't need to continue on this narrative of trying to please the people because when they gave Cambosis the loss, everybody turned their back on me. Not everybody was really willing to see me anymore. They thought I was done. Even the even when I came back to reclaim the world titles at 140, most of the boxing writers wrote me off. So I don't need to try to please. I'll do my best to make good fights. And what's a better fight than Devin Haney, me and Shakur? Me
Yeah,
and
Right.
if that
Shakur.
fight gets made,
Shakur is
that's a great
undefeated.
fight. Yeah,
Shakur is
I'm just saying
undefeated. There's no yeah.
the reason why people bring up Devin is because you guys have been tied together since 135, and it's
It's
and that's
fine.
a top name as well. You can't get me wrong, but at the same time, you did want to fight Crawford at 147, right?
I did, and then they didn't want to. They said 154 they were fighting at.
He went
And
up.
I
That's
was willing to fight at
147.
154. I'm
Yeah.
willing to fight
So
at
for
160.
Crawford, you fight at 147. For Dev, you didn't want to fight at 147.
It was for
That's
world
what
titles. No, no, no. Wait, whoa, whoa.
Mhm.
That Crawford was undisputed at 147. I wanted to fight Crawford for the undisputed
I
or for
got
the
okay.
reign. Yeah, Devin didn't have nothing at 47.
I got you.
Name a
That's
belt that
right.
Devin has right now at 47.
Right.
No, you're
Not
right. He doesn't.
147.
Not
No.
147.
So
No, not at
why
all.
am I gonna let
No.
go of my Ring Magazine world title,
Right.
right? And then my WBO world title to
Right.
fight Devin Haney just for the name and popularity. I'm not in it for popularity and fame. I'm in it to become the best fighter in the world. And the only way you become the best fighter in the world is by becoming world champion. in numerous
Exactly.
weight divisions and against tough oppositions in your weight class.
Yeah, I think Tom
But that's
and
just my mentality of how
I
I was brought up in boxing.
Okay.
right, and you know you have that old school mentality, champ, and also I don't believe, and you know, I've expressed this to many people, many colleagues in the media, that they don't give you the credit that is rightfully deserved, and I've mentioned that to him. I've even written that up a few times too, champ, and I'm not kissing your ass. I'm not because I don't do that with any athlete, any fighter over the career I've had.
Just
I'm
being
telling you,
honest.
I'm telling you it like it is. You don't get the respect that's duly deserved.
Yeah, but you only get it when you're either no longer competition. But by then, it's like, are you happy with what you've left behind? So you're either everyone's like that though. It's what it is. I mean, when
Yeah.
Kobe, name one right now from just outside of boxing, Kobe Bryant. People who talk so much about him and how he wasn't Jordan and he wasn't this and he wasn't that. But the moment the man left this earth, like how many people love and cherish him and wish that he was still here to this day. I think it's just what it is. You come into that cloth of being great, and some people just can't handle that because you're competition. They can't have that mentality like you, and they just don't understand the what it takes to be that. So everyone that's on the cool kid side is gonna go against the nerd or against the guy that's really devoted and determined on where he's gonna be in life.
What about
I
that
see.
flip? You know, I love the flip. After when you do that acrobatic flip, how did that come about again? And you know,
I
I
mean, I've been
worry every
doing.
time you do that you're going to get hurt, and you don't because you do it so well. You're an expert at it. How did that all come originate? The flip.
The flip, I mean, well, since I've been doing backflips since I was like 6, 7 years old, in the backyard. So I used to do it with after school, having especially on the weekends. And then I think eventually I wanted to make and turn something into my own signature, and I started doing that every time I
Yeah,
won. Every time I won, that was a celebration type of
and
victory
it
lap for
held.
me,
It
and
held. Yeah.
I just kept doing it, and then I took it with me to the pros, and then little by little I started practicing on how can I make it more special and spectacular, and I was doing a gainer, so off the one leg doing backflips like that, and then adding Fortnite dances to it, just having a good time because you got to celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
You know, you learn from your losses, but you celebrate more with your wins, and that's how you got to do it.
What have you been doing since you know? Okay, let's give an example, champ. You finished up in New York with the Millions pay per view card and Danny Garcia. Uh, where you been? You've been making the circuit, making the rounds. Besides doing the interview with me tonight, what's keeping you busy when you're not in that ring and in the gym?
Well, my son definitely, he's 3 years old. Next, Teofimo the fifth, keeping a long line of Teofimos, and spending that quality time with him before I got to go back into camp and make those
Yeah,
sacrifices that every father and every person out there that needs to make a living for their
right.
family has to do. So just spending those quality times, taking them to the Broadway out here, taking them to different parts, taking them to Brooklyn a little bit just to let him see the places and the areas. People love him, love seeing him around, and on top of that, just making my ends. Make my ends, getting calls every day from my team about the contracts, about me, Shakur, seeing what's the updates on everything. So just a lot of good things. And then I'm heading right now. I'm at the Delta Sky Club here in JFK on my way
Okay.
to Las Vegas. I got invited to the Jabberwockies. With they're also co-signed now and aligned with Puma, trying to see what we can do there. And then just got a call for TV Azteca to do commentary for a boxing fight in San Antonio.
Hey, you
Uh,
see that?
yeah,
Millions got you. Now they have you, and
yeah, yeah.
you've got a
So,
future behind the microphone. You know the sport. There's no doubt about it. You know the fighters. You did your preparation well. You got great insights, and what better than coming from a world champ like you? You know.
and I'm very honestly, I'm very grateful for all of it. You know what I'm saying? Despite me not being able to fight at the moment, I'm still trying to make other ways to be out there. I love the game. I love boxing.
Yeah, I
I
know.
love it with all my heart. I've bled for it. I sweated for it. I've
I
cried for
know.
it. So, You know,
Time I talked with you and the time we had a little time on Saturday night at Barclays Center, that passion for the sport comes out in you. I mean, it really
but
comes out.
but I'll tell you what's the difference. I and it shouldn't be a difference with me and every other champion out there. I want the best for every fighter. I really want the best for every guy, every person out there, even if they're in my weight class. You know, I'll give them pointers on how they could even step up their game. Because you know, what's the best part about doing what I do is making sure boxing is at the number one spot that it's in, that it's been in
Sam,
for a very long time. It's
great
not about,
advocate. You're a great advocate for the sport.
you know,
You might have a commissioner role one point down the line. Would you like to do that? What do you want to do
yeah.
when you finish with your career? What is your ambition after boxing?
I would love to be a man of many traits, especially when it comes to boxing. Be a trainer, so I'll be a coach. I would love to be with USA Boxing and train the amateur fighters there as well, and really get into commentary on that stage
No,
stature.
I know you. I know
Another,
you got it in you. I just
you
said
know,
that numerous times. You have it in you.
Would
You
love to be a
do.
promoter. Would love to do all these things, all in that. You know, the money that I get now, just save enough to make these promotions start happening. And once I become free agent, you know, see which network, not promoters, but which network would want to be with Teofimo.
How
It's
how
not. It's
how
see the thing. I tell you right now. What is it? Yeah, I tell you guys right now. The problem with these young fighters, any fighter that is listening right now, any current champion, anyone that's on their way to become a free agent, if you're at a smart position and if you're at a point where people really like you, and if it's outside of boxing, it's maybe YouTube and TikToks, but then you generate those fan bases into boxing and do your thing in the ring, you don't need to co-align with another promoter if you're a free agent. You open your promotion and you find a way to do either one-offs until you build that. You work a good connection with everybody. You don't burn no bridge. All right. Don't do mistakes that I may have had. If they say I burn bridges, I don't know where, but okay. But at the same time, you built it to where you show everyone, and then you make a network deal, even if it's a small one that maybe people don't know of right now. You get equity from their company. You find ways to do that. You show that there's value to it, and then you bring a whole stable of fighters that you may know or others may know, and you bring them all together. You find who could pay these things. You go to the bank, you know what I mean? Get a loan, do this, do that, and you get your own foundation of a promotion with a TV deal. And then with
That's it.
that,
Yeah,
and then with that, you're creating the income
that's
not for
it.
others. Hmm?
You're good.
And then another
You're
thing,
good for sure.
California has
Yeah, go ahead.
California has despite California doing this act with the Ali Act, California has a what's the word that everybody needs like benefits, right? What's the proper term? What's the proper term? Hold up. There's a proper way of doing it, but that um
Protocol.
no. You know how certain companies, corporations, they have it. It's a it's
The
a
health
Tom, can you
benefits?
help
The
out?
health benefits? Health
yes, but
benefits?
yes, they have
The health benefits for fighters, which is a major
they
issue.
do, but they have that in California. They have that. And the thing is that no one really relies on that yet, right? To make sure that all the fighters they have all these things that corporations give to people, as far as
Insurance, health insurance, you're talking about.
health insurance, Medicaid, or well, not Medicaid because that's on the other side of the world, but as far as medical insurance, all those things that matter, right? Delta Care, all that, and I think people don't tap into that, but now they're trying to shave that by going out to
Right.
California. See, it's like putting all the pieces and all the puzzles together, and then they hate that I'm the guy that does that. But I don't care.
No,
Somebody gotta
that's
help these kids,
it's the
man.
business of the sport. A guy like you now, when you get out of the ring, they don't take care of former champions. They don't
No,
take care of the
they don't even
fighters at
take care.
all.
They don't
You
even
have
take
no
care of her.
pension.
We
You
don't. We
have
don't
no
even.
pensions. Other
Yeah,
athletes,
they
champ,
don't.
other athletes in all the sports, as you know, and Tom,
Yeah,
you
but
know, They
America
retire and they have a pension.
USA don't even take care of their soldiers.
Mm,
So what is it? What they gonna do for a fighter that
right,
brings
right,
entertainment
right,
or any
right.
athlete out there?
Champ, is the sport, in your opinion, healthy right now, or does it
Yeah,
need to lure in
no, yeah,
fans more?
it's healthy. It's at a great position. We just need to, fighters need to fight for their heart of the love for the game, for boxing.
Should
That's
there be
it.
more unity with the promoters?
Yeah, it's never wrong giving love and bringing all that together.
What, 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 what,
If
it,
you can't in moments like that, if you can't beat them, just join them.
No, no.
If you
Because
can't beat
years
them, join them.
ago, as the old school guy, there seemed to be, you had division, but you only had two guys, Bob Arum and Don King. That's really the only ones you had that were
Mhm.
putting on the major fights. Today, you got this one, you got that one, and then you have now the Turk guy that got into the fold with all this money and everything.
Yeah.
Can that last and be positive for the sport?
I'd just say don't rely on it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you're or anyone else out there is trying to rely on, don't do it.
Mm,
You just can't
mm,
rely on someone else's expectations. You can't rely. You
mm.
don't know what they're expecting.
Right.
You don't even know their plans and what was the
Mm,
reason. You don't even know why they purchased and bought 15-20% of BlackRock in 2021.
mm-hmm.
Why? You
Mm-hmm.
don't know these things. And it's like there's always motives behind it. It could be always good because I think it is. Turkey right now is doing a great job in co-aligning every type of sport into one hub, especially with Riyadh season or Riyadh season or however you want to express it. I don't want to mispronounce it out of disrespect. I respect what it is. I think that it's great. So enjoy, take advantage of these times in every kind of way.
Go where the
That's it.
money is. You can't be blamed for
But
that.
I think there's young fighters that think that they already deserve that X amount of money now, and I think that's where
Right.
they're wrong.
Right.
No, first you
Right.
got to build something first in order to
Right.
maybe have a talk or a say.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't build if you don't have anything. You can't say
No.
anything if you don't got anything. You know,
No.
a world title may not just do it. You gotta
Right.
have more. You gotta have more weight behind that.
Would you like to see more? Tom, interject again before we let the champ go. Champ, would you like to see 15-round fights again, where
Yep.
championship rounds really
Yeah.
are?
I spoke to His Excellency of Turkey Al Sheikh about it, and I told him when it was me, Crawford, and David Benavides when we sat down in his farm home, and I told him why'd you decline it, and he said I don't want to have any injuries that furthermore destroy fighters, so their health by going those extra 3 rounds and it relying on me. So that was the reason. It's more of a safety reason, and I understand that. But then make it 13 rounds. Why not give it the extra round?
Well, you
Why
know
not do
what?
it? Why not do it
Go
13
back in the
to break
past.
the
They used
draw?
to do that. When they had 15-round fights back. Did you know? And I think you would know this. That if a fight was a draw after 15, they went to a 16th round to decide it. Did you know that?
Uh, it makes a lot of sense of what overtime boxing is doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Tom,
makes a
any
lot of sense.
final questions? I don't want to keep the
I
job.
got
What
a
time?
few. I mean,
I don't want to tie him up.
I
What
want to
time
go
is
on the
your flight?
positive, but I want to bring back, so you're speaking about like helping other fighters and stuff, and talk to me a little bit about the Cops and Kids program and how they may have helped you, and then let's go back to like you talking to other fighters. Like, does any of the things you say, do you have any regrets for any of the things that you have said that may have been controversial? As far as other fighters.
No, I don't regret anything. I just learned from it. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do. You can't, if you live in this world with regrets, it's always going to eat you up. You got to find ways to just learn that it was a mistake, if it is that, you know. I just grew up the way I did. I grew up hardcore, where words didn't really hurt you. It was more of the action. But in today's time, everybody's opinion matters and everyone's words hurt.
Hmm.
So for that say, I can't understand that, but all I could do is work around it and make the best out of my career now moving forward. Now, when it comes to cops and kids, when it comes to others out there, when it comes to police, athletic leagues around the world of U.S., let's just say not around the world, but around nation. Um, I think the beauty about it is that um, it's giving us a chance to fight, right, and stay out of the hood, stay out of the streets, stay out of problems, and have a well-rounded moral support at the same time. But at mostly importantly of it all, you're having to understand yourself, discipline, right? Learning what discipline really is, learning what respect is, learning how to be a mature young man and how to carry yourself for the near future as you get older. What I always loved about that. And that as long as you're in school, they don't charge you. For most places, they don't charge you. As long as you're in school, you're doing your education, and most of those coaches, they would ask you about your school reports and see how you're doing in school. And if you're not doing well, they'll kick your ass in the gym.
That's right. Well,
so
well,
so
it's made boxing over the years and continues to be that way, champ.
and
You know, the
I don't think that's the
mentality,
change.
discipline, it's the best thing for a young person.
Yeah. I don't,
I've seen it over the years. Guy comes off the street, goes in the gym, and becomes a champion. What's wrong with that? That's great. That's
No,
great.
yeah, it's the honest truth. And if there's any other questions, Tom, I'd love to answer. I do have to leave in a few, but yeah,
Yeah, I want to. Well,
yeah,
one thing we got to do is give you the fact of the week. No one
Please
comes off
do.
this pro. You have to answer the fact of the week. It's not trivia. It's a fact from Rich Mancuso. Tom can't get it every week. He tries. Maybe you can get this one, champ. You ready?
okay.
All right, Tom. It's fact of the week. Put it up for the champ, the takeover, Teofimo Lopez. All right, and it goes to millions of dollars in boxing. And back in 1921, champ, heavyweight title, going back, Jack Dempsey, George Carpentier. I know you know them. Dempsey got the KO in the fourth round before 80,000 fans, and that was in at Boyle's Doors, I think it was called, Doyle's Arena in New Jersey somewhere. 80,000 fans back in 1921. Okay? Dempsey against George Carpentier. What do you think the purse was for that fight? This is a fact, not trivia. Go back to 1921. What do you think the purse was?
It's probably a couple dollars. Probably like I'd say probably like $50, $100.
No, it's just going to blow your mind because it got me when I found this fact. How about $1 million?
It was $1 million
No
back
way.
in
A
that time.
million dollars back in 1921. Yeah.
I'm thinking it's a couple
Yeah.
dollars because that's a what?
But yeah, $1 million back then with Jack Dempsey and George Carpentier. When you look at Jack Dempsey, that's history there, champion
Gosh,
history. And then think about the
yeah.
Dempsey name, that might have done it. Yeah, $1 million purse back in 1921. Look, champ Teofimo Lopez to take over, so we can confirm possibly before I let you go and have a safe trip back to Vegas. Sometime in January against Shakur Stevenson in New York City.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. We're just right now going
All
through the
right,
papers, going through papers.
all right.
But
And this has been great.
to
This
me,
is
to
yeah,
me, I
all
would love
right.
for it to be announced and already be announced by the time the holidays get closer. You know,
You're gonna
would
give
love
me.
for it
You're
to
gonna
be
give me.
time.
Are you? Next question. You're gonna give me the scoop.
Yeah, I got your number. I'll text you.
That's
All
right.
right.
And dinner next time when you come to New York, right?
Most definitely, most definitely. I can't
Uh,
wait for all of it to
t-
come around, man. And I really want to thank everybody in the sport. Thank you guys for just making boxing great again. As long as you guys support it and love it and keep on talking about the sport, you guys are already making it great. And
and,
nevertheless, despite my mistakes in the past, despite what I've said, despite anything, I just try to make those fights happen. I thought emotionally those things could navigate it, but now we just trying a different way, just earning it the hard way, beating everybody they put in front of us, and see where you guys want that to be. That's
oh,
it. You
it,
know. So
that's the takeover. Teofimo Lopez. You've done it before. You'll continue to do it. You're a great look. You're a great ambassador for the sport. And again, I'm not kissing ass. I'm talking truth here.
well, I,
As
I
we,
love it. I
yeah.
really love it. I love it to the point where, I would die in the sport for it. However,
Yeah.
I think that, there's other ways to do it, but if that was the only way, then so be it. You know,
Right. Champ,
you gotta if you
safe
do something you
travels.
love, if you do something you
Yep.
love, you didn't die for nothing.
No.
You know.
Good. Keep
All
up the
right, man.
great work. Keep up the great voice, and the things you do for the sport. Safe travels home. My best to your great dad who helped line this up as well. Give him
Yeah,
my blessings and best. And I'll be in touch and talk to you soon, all right?
got it. Best in the world.
You got it. The takeover, the champ, Teofimo Lopez. Keep it in the ring, my friend.
Will do.
Thank you. I'll be in touch. Tom, I think I'd said it all. We saw a different side of the champ right there and giving his opinions. We still don't know if it's a definite, which scores Stevenson, but it looks like it's leaning towards it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, Rich, I wanted to ask some questions, and I know you was trying to discipline me a little bit, but I think we let him off the hook a little bit because I was
Well,
getting somewhere with the Haney and then Crawford. And
yeah,
then, you know,
yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to make him.
He went around it a little bit, Rich. He went
Yeah.
around it. He said that Haney didn't have anything, but then Crawford, that made sense, but there was other fighters there that he was trying to make fights with boots, but
Well, maybe next time, Tom. Next time around, because I didn't. I'm just very.
He looked like he was a little upset with me. He's like, "12, Tom." Like,
No, maybe no. He'll let me know. He'll let me know through a text. But I just wanted to get him on. It was great to have him on. I had my doubts, but he came through. Great for the program. Great for you and me, of course, and the fans. I hope they enjoyed his insights because we not only got around the fight with Shakur, and we didn't get all the comments in that were coming in. And my apologies for
there were
that.
a lot of questions in the chat, and I
Yeah. Well, maybe we could run them down real quick before we take this time
there were
out. 'Cause we
questions that I
gotta take
wanted
a
to
time
ask,
out.
Rich. I gave you those questions. I emailed them to you.
All right. So, what did some of them? What are these comments that came in on Champ?
They want to know why he didn't take the fight with Devin Haney.
Okay.
$11 million offer. That was the rumor. That's a lot of money.
All right.
And they want to know. And he said that he ended up, and that's okay. But then that's why I countered and said, well, you wanted to fight, Bud, and he countered right back. But then there was boots he was trying to make. So like here and there, it's different. Then he's talking about Hitchens that he's got to build his name up. What has he got to offer? Well, he's got a title. He can unify. So like. There were things I wanted to counter the chat as well.
Throw up the.
He was able.
Throw up the comments because we're going to take a quick time out. We need a break and we're going to pay a bill. Go ahead. What else you got?
Let's go. To the super chats. BVO says shout out to the champ. Before that, it was a quick question here. Let me see if this was it. Stony B Man. He does know that there be supporters of the sport that do not co-sign the double talk and the word salad, which and that's what I was trying to get the controversial.
Okay.
He kind of.
Thanks, Stormy. Go ahead. Move on. What else we got?
He said he regretted it a little bit. He did kind of say it. He didn't get into specifics. Give
What
me a
else?
second as I scroll because there was a lot of stuff coming through, but. Somebody brought up Steve Claggett. What did he have to offer? Steve Claggett. So that kind of contradicts.
And Drew, thank you for that. I'm sorry we didn't get to this because we wanted to give Champ Teofimo Lopez the time. Go ahead, Tom. Bring up a few more.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to go. There was one good one I really wanted to bring up because it was related to Hitchens, but it was a lot. Why he didn't unify with Gary Antoine Russell and Matias. That was another one.
Okay.
If you got up, let me see. I'm trying to see.
And again, we apologize to our fans and our supporters here on the program. Keep it in the ring here with Rich Mancuso, Tommy D, TD Sports. Wanted to give the champ the time, and whether your comments came up or not, we're trying to get to those comments right now. But he'll be on again. I
can get him on again, and let me ask him. Listen. He got a little. I'm not saying he got a little emotional, but he got into it. And he was ready, and he said sorry for cursing or whatever. And I said no, fine, go ahead.
I let him do it.
I want that one-on-one. It's because I'm not gonna be in disrespect.
Yeah. No, you know what it is, Tom. I'm gonna tell you why. He didn't do it as much because he's offering the respect. Because when me and him at Barclays on Saturday night, and I talked to him about that, is you want to enhance your image a little more, do a little less cursing. And I got on him, but in a nice way. And he looked at me right in the eye and said, "You're right. I have to change that a little bit." So I think he was giving that respect back right now. And but regardless, we saw another side of him.
It's only the cursing. I mean, listen, this is one of the pictures. I didn't want to use this picture earlier. One of the pictures gave me, but what is up with this outfit, Rich? That's something.
I discussed that with him as well, and he says it's part of my showmanship. That's what he said. That was his answer to me on Saturday.
Yeah, and then the counter to that would be like, not a lot of people would like that, and it comes.
Yeah, and he knows that. And that's exactly. I'm going to follow up with you on that, Tom. What I just said about the cursing, he knows that. He knows that, and I got this distinct feeling, not from this interview so much, but after talking to him extensively Saturday night at Barclays Center, that you're going to see a little different Teofimo Lopez in his character and appearance. I think he wants to take this more seriously. Tom, regardless, it was great having him, wasn't it?
No, it was great. It was great that he came. We didn't think he was going to show because he didn't say anything yesterday. He didn't respond. But, it was good that he showed up. And, and I was going to mention a couple other things. I was going to mention some names that said some really good things about him as well, and that he knows that I know.
No, you could have jumped in anytime you wanted to. I wouldn't have cut you off.
I don't think he wanted to answer some of those questions, but I would like, to maybe ask him, listen, there's no disrespect to Teofimo when he does in the ring. Inside the ring, I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a great fighter. He's a two-time, two division world champion. It's just the things that he say outside of the ring that just turns people away.
It leads to controversy. But I loved his views about where the sport is today. The fact that he'd love to see 15-round championship fights. You hear me say that every week on the program. Some of his views on the sport were very, very. He gave insightful comments.
Yeah.
They were very good.
He was saying some good things. Absolutely. But I just wanted to hold him accountable for some of those things.
You did a good job.
And it seemed like he was sorry with it too. Listen, he seemed like in his voice he was a little bit kind of like hesitant as well. And I think he knew. I'm not going to say because of me, but I think in general maybe he saw some of the comments in the chat as well. He
maybe.
So,
but
I didn't want to attack him. I wanted him.
He'll tell me, and I'll get back to you on it, and everyone else, whether it be tonight or next week. Tom,
you're a nice guy, Rich. That's what it is. You're a nice guy.
I'm too nice, and I got and someone told me that tonight that I got into an argument with them about that. And that's another story in itself. But that's been my personality all my life. Much too nice, Rich Mancuso. And as I get older and I'll fade away, maybe I'll get to be this nasty, old, decrepit man. And then everybody will see the real Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D. I'm Rich Mancuso. We got to take a quick time out, come back. We got a lot more boxing to discuss and go over, and then we'll get into the pro wrestling as such. Just keep it in the ring. Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. That's Tommy D. Stream Punk Entertainment, TD Sports Talk as well. Facebook page live as well. Like my Facebook page. Tom, quick break. Everyone, quick break. Back in a moment. This is Keep It in the Ring. Stay with us.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Well, Tom, I got good news for you as we come out of break and we continue to keep it in the ring. Just heard from Teofimo Lopez, the champ. All right? Thank you for your time tonight, Rich. Send my best to Tom as well. It was really great.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? I thought that was fantastic.
No, that's great, but, we got to get it back, man. We got to, but we'll talk behind the scenes, man. I'm not going to go, but, I appreciate, like I said, listen, I do appreciate him coming on and, and speaking with us and, giving you his word because he gave you his word that he was coming. And we doubted him, and he came on.
I was, but I could see why. He's busy, he's traveling. He was at JFK heading back to Las Vegas, but look, he complimented you. So
I appreciate that too.
Now-
We'll
now
see.
you-
I'll see him again.
you
But
got a
a lot
world
of people
champion.
complimented him too, and I was going to bring that
Yeah.
up, and then I was going to translate
Yeah,
it.
well, I
because-
hope everyone enjoyed it again as much as you and I did. It was great having the champ Teofimo Lopez on the program, and of course you'll see YouTube shorts on the interview during the next few days, and of course you could always watch the program again if you missed the live version. That'll be posted as well on YouTube, my channel, Tommy D, and so forth. All right, Tom, let's continue. Deviate
let
a
me
little
just give
bit.
a shout out to everybody in the chat. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, go
coming
ahead.
through
Well, I take a
leaving
sip
the
of water.
comments. I read
You didn't give
every
me
single
enough
one of
break
them.
time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I read every single one of them, and I really do appreciate you guys coming through and showing your support to my man Rich Mancuso, keeping in the ring, and to me as well. I've read every one of them, and I'll try to address them when I go on as well. But that I definitely want to give you guys a shout out. I did read everything, and I'll go back and look at it again. But, I want to
Do that, Tom, because a lot of your supporters and fans have become fans of Keeping in the Ring, and I really thank them. Just have them subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, I do. I forgot to post it today. I'm not gonna lie. Usually I put it in.
Well, it's at the bottom, scrolled at the bottom of the screen as well. Let's continue, Tom. Let's get back to business here, all right?
Okay.
Barclays Center Saturday night. Far from sold out from previous Danny Garcia fights. 10th time he was there. Danny Garcia at 154. The farewell to Brooklyn. The farewell maybe to his career. Or was it? 37 years of age. He's already established a legacy of sorts. Gonna go to the Hall of Fame in my book. Swift Promotions, the card. He promotes young fighting prospects. My column on that at latinosports.com. 14-fight card, maybe a little too much. But he got the one-punch KO over Danny Gonzalez. And in the 4th round, at 45 seconds, it was quick. Gonzalez broke his jaw, and when he fell, he also broke his ankle. He was no sore loser. He said, no excuses, no crying. The pain is the reality. So that was his comment. He said that today, by the way. He's recovering now. Danny Garcia, though, let's focus on this briefly, Tom, because he's achieved so much in this sport. Unified the title, 147, not unified, but was a 2-time champ. He said Garcia, it's a high chance when asked about, will he be back? So, as I said last week on the program, he wins this fight and said it was a farewell. He was not going to quit. He's coming back. Got the impression he's coming back, Tom.
I don't know. It looked like he didn't really want to come back. He just implied that if the money was right, if the fight makes sense, he would come back.
There's really no reason for him to come back. He's achieved what he had.
He's achieved what he needed to achieve.
And unless he needs the money because he has Swift Promotions, he doesn't need to come back.
I don't think he needs the money because he's.
And there's no one there to fight. No one's going to want to fight him for a title. He wouldn't win a title. Oh, no disrespect to him. He doesn't have it no more like he did in his prime at 147.
No, I think, he's at 154 now, and, he went up.
Yeah, I know, 154. With all those guys at 154, he's certainly not going to defeat Fedor.
Listen, he fought a guy that I thought would do much better than what he did. One of my good friends, your good friends, who introduced me, Socrates Palmer, said that this was going to be a layup. I picked Danny Gonzalez to win this fight.
So did I did also.
Yeah,
I picked Garcia.
It's an easy fight. He said that
I picked Gonzalez,
Danny was going to wash
Garcia.
him quick.
Yeah.
And I should have listened to Sock, and he called it. He said that
Yeah, Sock knows his boxing as well as all sport, but he knows his boxing.
I just don't think Danny.
Okay, so my consensus on this, Tom, is this. He wins this fight, won it rather easily, all right? Said there might be a chance, meaning to me, after the win, saying it was his farewell, and it's not his farewell. I think you're going to see him again. Maybe not at Barclays because the crowd wasn't as roared as it used to be 9 previous times with Garcia at Barclays Center. And it wasn't sold out, far from sold out. But he could fight in Philadelphia and continue, but not for a title.
Mm-hmm. No, we'll see. Like the comment here, there's too many. too many hungry lions at 154.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
Danny could, but listen, Danny's done very well with his
yeah,
running. He's got paid well. He doesn't need to fight. He's got his promotion going. I don't
yeah.
think we see Danny Garcia again. That's just me.
Okay. All right. So I feel he will. You don't. I would like to see more what people think about it. Comment here on the program, the YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, Tommy D Sports. Or, interesting to see Gabriel Rosado back in the ring Saturday night as well at Barclays. He's now 28-7, 16 KOs. Philadelphia, very good friends with Danny Garcia. The unanimous decision, 8-rounder, super middleweight veteran Vaughn Alexander. Remember, Vaughn had a lot of fights in his career, championship ones as well. In control the whole time was Rosado. But here's the interesting thing. Rosado had been out of the ring for a while. He does commentating on the Zone. He's looking at Edgar Berlanger and to fight him in Puerto Rico. And Berlanger was there Saturday night looking at Rosado. What do you make of that?
I honestly don't know. I don't think Gabe really, to me, did not look all that good again in this fight. He's been out of action for a while. This would be a good fight for Berlanga, right? I mean, coming off the loss that he had. So if they were to make that fight, I mean, they could sell it, Puerto Rican versus Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico would be ideal.
New York
Yeah.
against Philadelphia.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think Berlanga is the fresher fighter. Gabe, his best years are behind him, and he's taken a lot of damage in a lot of fights. So I don't think he would do anything too extravagant. But we never know.
You never know. He's 28-17, 16 knockouts, and he did say that you'll see him again. So we'll see. Overall, 14 fights on that card. Tom, you were there. I was there. Media was there. We all said it just was too long of a card, though. The idea was to promote the prospects for Swift Promotions, including our friend Keith Colon, who fought again third time this year, now 8-0, and he has 8 knockouts to that. Stopped the previously undefeated David Calabro, right? Who's 5.
Calabero.
Calabro. Thanks again for correcting me. 5-1 was his opponent. Third round stoppage, said he is. Here's the thing. You know Keith better than I do. You spent a lot of time with him Saturday night after the fight as well. He's fought 3 times this year. He reminds me of the old school fighter at featherweight, Newark, New Jersey as well. He says he's going to fight again in December.
Yeah, he's looking to have a fight in December.
And knowing him,
that would be his 5th or 6th fight. It's more than 3 fights this year.
Wow.
He's
that's old school. That's old school because fighters don't do that. Fighters don't fight more than 2 times a year, most of them, maybe 3.
And he's a full-time student in Rutgers University.
At Rutgers. So, Keith Colon is on his way, as we keep saying. He's a friend of this program. We have him on often. We keep saying he's an epitome of a champion now that's on the rise to come. He's got it in him. And to fight more than 3 times a year, that's old school. And you could do that. Congratulations, as Tape says, to Keith Colon, and we offer him that as well. We'll have him on the program again real soon. Tom, let's look at Eddie Hearn. We talked about him. We talked about him and the Turk guy and Dana White moments ago with Teofimo Lopez, the champ. It's not a happy camper, Eddie Hearn, with Dana White, the Turk guy, and Zuffa shaking up boxing. All right? Because they want to get rid of the belts and maybe the sanctioning organizations, which might be a good or bad idea for the sport, and changing that Muhammad Ali Act that benefits the fighters, and the California State Athletic Commission in agreement with White, Turk guy, and the Zuffa promotion to overturn that act, which would not benefit the fighters at all. So Hearn is at war at it, and so is Oscar De La Hoya, who works with Hearn once in a while. They combine with the fighters in both promotions. Oscar Golden Boy, Hearn with Matchroom. Oscar responded to this. Put that up, Tom. He says about Dana White and such, he's not for the new league, and tells that new league that they have, Turk guy and White and so forth, with Paramount Plus coming up in the new year as their TV network. To Hearn, he says boxing is safe with him. Hearn and Frank Warren as well. They work together, the 3 of them. Hearn, Warren, De La Hoya. Now, Tom, I want your take briefly on this. Are we in a sort of like pro wrestling war here?
No, I don't
How
think
is this
so.
going to transpire? Because in the end, you know the Turk guy and Eddie Hearn and now Zuper, they have their plan. They're going ahead with it. They're motivated to keep this, and they're going to let it going, and they want to rid the sanctioning groups. Will that work?
They're not going to get rid of the sanctioning groups, but I do think the Zuffa Boxing League, TKO League, whatever you want to call it, I want to give it a chance. And I think what they're doing is going to be slightly different than what, De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, Warren, all these other guys got going on, because what this is going to do is going to build fighters up, and they're going to give fighters like prospects and that are not signed to big promoters a chance to fight multi times a year, maybe get some benefits, get paid a little bit more, and make it easier for them to make fights. It's almost going to be like a minor league system, right? Like you have in baseball, where they're going to build their own fighters, try to make a star out of them, and then when they get up, my concern with it is that when these fighters grow and they do become stars, and let's say they have these big fights, big venues, are they going to get paid what they rightfully deserve when they grow? That's the only concern I have with this, and I think that's when it's going to kill them. But in the
Well,
beginning stages, I think it's a good thing.
and well, the one thing I do like, going back old school again, briefly, Tom, is one belt. If they're going to recognize the ring title as their one belt, I'm all. It's not a major of the sanctioning groups, and they're going to sanctioning groups agree will not go away. They'll continue to do what they do, despite the extraordinary fees that they take from the promoters and the fighters to put those fights on. They have a say in the championship fights. But I like that idea of maybe one title, one champion, because that's what boxing needs, unification.
Yeah, no, it needs unification. It's going to be funny how they use the ring title in this, because the ring title is going to be the big guys that are not going to be in this Zuffa league. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work. I mean, the lineal champions, the ring magazine champion, I guess that's voted for with their particular rankings. But those guys are all signed by big promotions. So I want to know how they're going to do that as far as getting the guys in this
Yeah.
KO league, a
Yeah.
chance to fight for those belts. Like
It's really, really,
that's gonna be interesting.
it's interesting how this is developing and developing fast, because they're getting ready in the new year, a couple of months away, to do this, to have, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and the other guys are going to do what they're going to do, which to me will add to more confusion. All right, Riyadh season continues, all right, and it's coming up, and there's some good slate of fights coming up, Riyadh season. Here you got to give the Turk guy and whatever a lot of credit for this. You back Ben. Ben, we're going to get the rematch. Ben Benitez Yardy, the light heavyweight title. Henny, Norman Jr. I wanted to ask Teofimo's opinion about that. I forgot all about that. Because I got a big mouth and I don't know how to shut up. You know that. And that for the lightweight title, Bam Bam Rodriguez and Martinez, super lightweight titles. Abdullah Mason and Noakes for the lightweight title, and you got Inoue, Picasso, super bantamweight title, Nakatani and Hernandez, December 27th. Got a full slate going to the end of the year because of Riyadh season, Tom.
Yeah, you got three good cards. I think they're going to be good. I don't know about Eubank and Ben. I don't think that fight's going to live up to the last fight. I think you're going to see a very different type of fight. But
They do have animosity. What about Ben Benitez and Yardy? I got my eyes on that
I think
one.
that's going to be an exciting fight for as long as it lasts. Don't sleep on Yardy. I wouldn't sleep on him. I mean, the guy comes to fight, and he's no pushover, no slouch, and I wouldn't be surprised if. I'm not saying he beats Benavidez, but don't be surprised he drops Benavidez in this fight. I mean, but that's a good fight. And of course, let's first go, Abdullah Mason, who I think is going to be a major, major star.
You're right. You've always been high on him all the time with top rank. What about Devin Haney and Norman Jr.? I know that's another one we're looking at.
Yeah, that's a major fight. Haney about to make history, trying to be a three division world champion, coming up in weight, fighting Brian Norman Jr. And Brian Norman Jr. is looking to make a name of himself, right? Because yes, he's the WBO champion, I believe, in the weight division. But he's not really a big name. So I mean, beating a Devin Haney would give him, that notoriety. I can't now. I'm sounding like you a little bit here, Rich. Get him.
I'm contagious. What can I tell you?
Get him more relevant, a relevant name by beating Devin Haney. This is an interesting fight. I can see this fight playing out in so many different ways. I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to make a prediction now, but I'll tell you that I'm leaning towards Haney. I'll just put it at that.
Okay.
But I'm not going to make a prediction.
And of course, Inoue coming up again. And I think it's going to be in Japan again. And,
they're doing a whole Japan card.
Yeah, and they don't have Top Rank without a TV deal still. No streaming deal as of yet.
Yeah, they're building up Nakatani, who's moving up in weight for this one fight. And then if they both win, I guess they're setting that up, and that's the big fight to happen after this. So they're calling it like the Empire's, almost like Empire Strike Back, something like that.
Yeah.
In this card. So very interesting to see what Nakatani does moving up in weight. Because I think Nakatani and Inoue is a major fight.
And many look at it. Many could say that Inoue again is the top pound for pound fighter, or at least in the top 3. So again, this is a significant fight for Inoue. And now, what did you think of this, Tom? Paulie Malignaggi, bare knuckles. That's what he's getting into. Look at it. He says he's okay. The former champ in bare knuckles in the UK got the win. He's 44 years old. He's 1-1 in bare knuckles competition. This was 5 rounds, split decision, and he ended up in the hospital in the UK. On social media, went out and said he sat there for 7 or more 8 hours before getting treated. Look how lacerated he is. Why does he do this?
Well, to be fair, a lot of that damage was because of a headbutt, right? So there was a headbutt, and I think he got poked in the eye as well during the fight. I don't know why he continues to do it. I mean, he's been in a lot of fights already, a lot of big time fights.
I don't get it. Yeah. He don't need the money. He's got a great YouTube podcast or wherever. He's all over, and he does Pro Box. He's an analyst there, and some other promoters use him as well. And he's so smart with the sport of boxing, his insights and analysis. I just don't get it, Tom. Why would he go to this brutality? I don't get it.
Well, but hey, I'm not one to tell a guy, what he should and should not do. I mean, I would recommend that he just stop already, but who am I to say, what anybody else can do with their money or with their career or their life? So,
regardless, Paulie Malignaggi said right there, I'm okay. Seems to be speaking well. I hope he doesn't have any damage. And that he takes his time before deciding he's going to go in a bare knuckle competition. I've attended some bare knuckles events. That's brutal. That is brutal. I don't know why we do it anyway. Saw this one too. Charlo's now calling out Terence Crawford. He said he'd give the best fight of today's era, and I didn't think there's any other fight for him but Terence Crawford. He's telling him to make it right now. Your thoughts?
I don't think Terence is gonna or Bud is gonna make this fight right now, but I would love to see Charlo get back in the ring. I mean, he's the last real world champion at 154. That's just a fact. He's just been out of the ring since the Canelo fight. I would love to see this fight, but not his next fight. I think he should come back, fight one of the top contenders. No tune-ups. You don't need a tune-up after so many fights already. That's the same thing I said about Boots. Same thing I'll say about you. No tune-ups. Just get in there, fight one of the top 10 guys, and then let's see what happens after that. But I would love to see
why would Terence Crawford want to fight with Charlo when Billy's after his titles as well?
Yeah, listen, I get it. I don't think Bud would want to fight him. I think that fight is way overdue. Like it's done. Like it had its time a couple years ago. They had a chance to make it after the Spence fight, but it didn't play out. So
yeah. All right, to be determined. We'll see where this goes, and we'll also find out when Terence Crawford, the unified champ at 168, is going to have a rematch with Canelo. That's the talk as well. That'll happen Cinco de Mayo weekend next May. They will have a rematch, and I would say that would be it. I think they're going to do that again. May not make as much money as the first one on Netflix, but I think that's what they'll do. Right, Tom? We're going to go 2 hours tonight.
Over already.
No, we already are, and I didn't want to, but we. I don't have that. You do.
Okay.
You do. Anyway, I got other distractions, but let's get to the pro wrestling report. Get this as quickly as we can. All right, new tag team champs in WWE. You know, there's a lot of things going on with Triple H. A lot of people giving him a lot of negative talk, but on Monday Night Raw, he did his new tag team champions, Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, who says he's going to be retiring soon. That caught me off guard, but they're the new tag team champs. It took them from Judgment Day. And what else is going on? I think we have an image of, yep, everyone's talking about this. Becky Lynch, the husband of Seth Rollins, very upset at the Oracle Paul Heyman. Because, of course, you know, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker turned on Seth Rollins. And she told him he's going to come back when Rollins is ready. I got to, maybe, just maybe Becky Lynch is going to take over for her husband as part of this new faction. I don't know, because there's really nowhere for Becky Lynch to fit unless she gets a title. They're talking rumors about that.
Tease. It's a good tease. I'm very curious what she's going to do with this because you can't turn her as a face. She's a good as a heel. So I think her being a heel and taking over the brand or the vision would be great. I think they can go that route.
Yeah. Take a look at the next. What else we got? WWE. I think I got some other WWE stuff up there. It is Rollins' injury, so it is legit. It's not a swerve. It is not a swerve. And he'll be out. He's going to be out over a year or more, maybe. So they're making plans now. Reed, Breaker, maybe they'll feud, but they're talking, building up Braun Breaker for WrestleMania, maybe against Roman Reigns, who'll be in that picture. And I'm also getting a lot of reports. I still have sources in pro wrestling, keep it in the ring as it is, that Brock Lesnar might be a part of this picture, too, with the Oracle Paul Heyman. Also, maybe Austin Theory, who hasn't been seen in a while, being a part. Anything can happen right now with Seth Rollins out of the picture. But they're really building up Braun Breaker. They really are.
Yeah. I like Braun Breaker, and the fans seem to like him, and they're even building up Bronson Reed pretty good as well. But Braun Breaker is great. It would be great if they could somehow bring back, either his uncle and his father, kind of like to be kind of as an advocate or in his corner as well. I think that would be good because both of them are excellent on the mic, especially his uncle, Scott Steiner.
And now they're talking Jey Uso against Punk is for sure. Saturday Night Main Event, November 1st. That's happening. Punk awaits Jey Uso. I think you're going to see, I don't know though for sure, but I think you're going to see Jey Uso turn. Who's very popular with the fans, so that's why I'm skeptical about that.
I'm curious if they're gonna. I think it's too obvious that Punk wins. So I think they got to swerve us and they got to let Jey Uso win somehow.
And of course, they got Drew McIntyre back in the picture again with Cody Rhodes, and that's going to happen on Saturday Night Main Event. But talking about November 1st, Saturday Night Main Event on NBC and Peacock. It should be interesting building up to Survivor Series later next month. Now, let's go to AEW. Okay? Tony Khan. Yeah, we're going to talk about this violence, and Tony Khan denies rumors that Adam Copeland is returning to WWE. Cope's doing a movie project right now. But there's no denial about Chris Jericho. He's left AEW. Very strong reports that are true to confirm that he's going to head back to WWE and retire there. I didn't think that would ever happen. Tony Khan is not denying that he's left AEW.
I think he comes back. Yeah, I think they put him in the Hall of Fame next year too. And he's always kept a good relationship with WWE because even remember when he first left, he was one of the first guests for Stone Cold when he was doing his podcast.
Yeah,
and they let him do it on the show while being with WWE. That was an exception. So he left on good terms. So I always thought he would come back and finish.
Take a look at the AEW. When they had Wrestle Dream, their version of almost a WrestleMania. So the logo's almost the same. Again, Tony Khan is getting attacked with the violence here because this was a vicious match again with him and Moxley and Darby Allin, which continues, and it will continue going probably into next month. They're at the Newark in the Prudential Center. What's the name of whatever the name of the pay-per-view is again. But that was vicious. They was violent. I watched that at the fights at ringside the other night, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Put that up again, Tom.
what is he doing here? Like,
Yeah,
I don't want
that's a fish tank aquarium. He's trying to drown Darby Allin.
It's as worse than ECW.
Yeah, and then there was another image. I think they had to thumb. He's trying to take off Darby Allin's finger, going in between the nails, trying to cut it. Too violent. You can't watch it.
Hey, nothing is as bad as when they did the eye match with Rey Mysterio and
that was a fake socket that came out. Remember that? All right, Tom. Not that we should laugh at it. It's too vicious, too violent. I didn't grow up watching wrestling that way or working in the business. Wasn't that? I worked in that Attitude Era before and it wasn't that bad. But AEW does what they want to do. They feel they're getting to the top, and no, that's not happening. Look, you want to play the nostalgia kit now, a Piper's Pit?
Yes.
Can you put it up?
Yes.
I've been running across a guy on Facebook, and I'm going to give him credit. I think it's AJ Nichols. Has logged all the Piper's Pits. That was my favorite part in the wrestling, and just watching Piper and Piper's Pit. Came across this one. I thought I had to show it with George the Animal Steel. Let's show it.
All right. It's about 2 minutes. I'll play it right now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roddy Piper.
Tom, wasn't that great?
That was great.
Piper's Pits, remember?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Here's the thing that they've all passed on. Roddy Piper a few years back, George the Animal Steel, William Myers a few years back. He was a college professor.
Yeah.
He taught phys ed at University of Michigan or somewhere in
I
Detroit.
thought it was in Boston.
No, I think he's from Michigan. You might be right. I'll double check that and take a look at it. But that was an era in WWF at the time. That it was great. But Piper's Pit was what you wanted to watch every week.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I used to tune in every week. With the guarantee to see, Roddy Piper. He was hilarious. He was funny. He could have done stand up, I think.
Yeah, and in fact, remember when he threw the pineapple at Jimmy Superfly Snuka with the pineapple?
Yeah,
that was something. And then he developed the Andre the Giant Hulk Hogan feud that ended in a record at WrestleMania #3 at the Pontiac Silverdome. But I worked more so with George the Animal Steel, and I got a lot of stories with him. Picking him up at the airport, and then I'm going. The first time I met him in a car, picked him up at Newark Airport. And I'm going, and he's so nice and pleasant. And I'm going, you're not George the Animal Steel, are you? Then he turned into character, and he goes, hey, you.
Oh, my God.
Arena. Whoa, you. And he kept doing that for 10 minutes until he finally calmed down. And we had an intelligent, great conversation about pro wrestling and all that, and we got to know each other real well. And that was a heyday, WWE. Yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed that as much as I do, and you did. And then we're going to do more. I'm going to try and show more Piper's Pits as we go along in the next few weeks.
And
great stuff.
It was Michigan. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Tom, don't doubt me with pro wrestling. You could doubt me with boxing sometimes, but not the pro wrestling.
I'm sorry, Rich.
You don't have to apologize. I didn't get offended. I was just. All right, we're going to take one more brief timeout, come back, and we're going to do some nostalgia. We got some good stuff there, too, as well. Some other things, and wrap it all up. Keep it in the ring. I'm Rich Mancuso, Tommy D. My YouTube channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Tommy D Sports Talk, Extreme Punk Entertainment. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
Petwell Clinic was built with busy pet parents like you in mind, providing walk-in preventative vet care, treatment for minor ailments, and chronic condition management. You remain with your pet throughout their visit, and all charges are clearly explained, so there are no surprises at checkout. Just walk in to our Paramus, Greenbrook, or Union locations, or visit us at petwellclinic.com for more information.
Having technical difficulties, got it.
That's all right. We can come right on. We don't need the opening again.
Yeah.
We're working on getting a new opening for the show, as well as the opening again, as I keep saying, Sports with Rich and Tom, which won't be following this tonight. We've been doing that. We might shoot it for tomorrow night or early next week with the World Series coming on. But we'll keep you, though, posted. Just keep checking the social media. You know, Tom, I heard from the champ Teofimo again. All right? Yep. Thank you again. Awesome questions from you and Tom.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the fact of the week. I learned something new today about our beloved sport.
Nice.
Now I don't get guests, or it's just Teofimo Lopez, whatever. I never get guests to comment after they come on. Very rarely. I'll send them a thank you, and they'll thank you too. Great show, but not like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's great.
True. Yeah. I try to do
know?
the same thing, and not everybody replies back.
But you see, Tom, you were a part of that too. You were a big part of that.
You're right.
You know,
You're right.
that's why I got you. TD Sports Talk. Nostalgia time as we wrap the program up this week, and it's been a great one too. Let's go to October 20th, 1979. John Tate defeated this guy. You might remember Jerry Kosisi from South Africa. 15 rounds. Remember, 15 rounds. Unanimous decision in Pretoria, South Africa. He won the vacant WBA heavyweight title that back on October 20th, 1979. Now we got this, and we're going to show a clip after I lead into it. October 23rd, 1962. Dick Tiger, the 15 round again. Here we go. Should I lead into it, Tom? Let me lead into it.
You can talk over it too if you like. I think.
All right, go ahead. Play it, and I'll talk over it. The 15-round unanimous decision over George Fulmer in San Francisco for the WBA middleweight title. The first of 3 consecutive bouts with both these fighters. Tiger got 2 wins out of it around the split decision. And let's just take a look at some of this old action back in October 23rd, 1962. Again, Tiger against Gene Fulmer, 2 legends in the sport of boxing.
Fulmer regained the title in 1960 when he KO'd the hard-hitting Carmen Basilio in 14 rounds at San Francisco.
What do you think of that, Tom? And I want fans to look at that and get their comments as well.
This is the first round, and they're throwing haymakers already. There's no feeling out process here. Yeah.
And again, way back October 23rd, 1962.
Yep, and I believe Dick Tiger won this fight.
Right. First of 3 bouts with the 2 of them. This is the first of the 3.
I think he stops him in this fight. I think they had a draw in the second fight.
A split draw.
In the third fight, he won unanimous decision. This fight wasn't for the title, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
I believe the second or the third was for the title.
But what I love, don't you love to see the action? You know, 1962 was a completely different era. And of course, you see it, I don't know what network, there was no network then. I don't know how this was televised. But the gloves are different. Of course, the ring attire is different. The fans, all different. The referee is different. Well, not really. Referee still wears a tie. The ring is different. Notice the difference in the ring.
Yeah.
Boxing history right here, folks.
So this is the opening round. We'll just let the opening round play out.
Fulmer and Dick Tiger.
Yeah.
Part of boxing history right here.
Champion Fulmer playing the role of a boxer.
And you can get this whole fight on YouTube in its entirety, of course, if you want to see the whole 15-round affair. And again, 15 rounds back then, Tom. We talked to Teofimo Lopez about it. He's all for it.
Punches by challenger Dick Tiger.
Look at the jabbing. Look at the connecting. Shots to the body, the jabs. The footwork, too, back then was important as it is today.
There we go.
And there's the end. Great stuff.
That was
Thanks for loading that up, Tom.
No
Thank
problem.
you. And let's take a look at this from Saturday night. I hadn't seen him in a while. His father was a great championship referee, Arthur McCanty, later also a boxing TV analysis with my friend Steve Albert on Showtime Championship Boxing. There's Arthur McCanty Jr., who followed in his father's footsteps, still does it. So what are we talking about? You think we're talking about boxing here?
It looks like it. I mean, you're deep in conversation here because I know because you got your hand up, ready to emphasize something.
Saturday night. We're talking Saturday night at Barclays Center. This was Saturday night.
Yeah. It wasn't boxing?
No. He's a big Yankee.
You got your hand up ready to emphasize something.
Yeah, because I was emphasizing what's wrong with the Yankees because he's a big Yankee fan. And everyone's asking me, even Saturday night, what happened. And Arthur McCanty Jr., known for his boxing repertoire in the ring as the third man, is talking about the Yankees, not boxing. And then he did say this, have things changed in the sport, boxing. He did get into that a little bit before he ran in the ring to get to his next fight. But he's talking about the Yankees with me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm making the point. And he's trying to make his point. And like every Yankee fan tells me, even you, he's talking about Aaron Boone, fire Aaron Boone, and I'm telling him it's not.
Hey, listen, it's a popular thing, and they're not going to fire him, but
it's not his fault. I told him, like I tell everyone else, it's analytics, and you got to have the players to win a championship. The Yankees didn't have it. So that's Arthur McCanty Jr., who's still on the scene, still does a lot of championship fights as well. Thanks, McCanty. It was good to see you again. Thank you, Tom, for putting that up. Also. Finally, I leave on a sad note, a very sad note, and I have to do this because he was a dear friend of mine for almost 45 years, passed away, suffered the last few months. That's Steve Cementelli, and from Brooklyn, big Yankee fan. We met way back then in the Bronx when he had the sausage stand, first his brother, then him, who passed away. His brother ended his life also early. Too early to go. And I met Steve, his older brother. And Steve had the sausage stand on East 27th Street in Little Italy, Arthur Avenue, where I'm from. And then it carried over to the San Gennaro Festival in Manhattan, Little Italy, every September, where that family had the sausage stand for almost 65 years. Steve was a big, not only is a great friend of mine over the years, but a major Yankee fan. All he did was talk to me about life and then go right into the Yankees, talk about those championship years. You know, Tom, he talked always about the past, how the old Yankee Stadium was. He also talked boxing, about some of the great championship fights that he saw personally and that he took interest in. But he was over in the Yankees, the old Yankee Stadium, and how he used to find the players used to come out of the upstairs runway, go right into the parking lot, and how they could always greet the players and get an autograph. That's how it was then, how they used to see the late owner, George Steinbrenner, after the games, and how they talked, and Steve used to talk to him a lot. Steve was also a longtime member and retired of the FDNY, New York City. 9/11, he worked at, and possibly this contributed maybe to his bad health that happened so suddenly. I want to give my thanks to Steve on the program, who watched us from time to time. I want to give him a rest in peace and a great send-off, Tom, because he was a great family man. Put all three of his children in college, worked hard, devoted father, wife, father to those great three children. And one of his sons, his oldest son, is a friend of mine who I helped get into the business as well right now. And but you know what, Tom? This was a special person. I'm sure you've met many over the years that have been special to you, that still are and may have passed on. And you don't forget a man like this. And I'm going to miss those talks. And we used to talk an hour or more on the phone. Inspiring talks, motivational talking to me, how he did. Talking about life in general. And then, of course, we go into the Yankees. And boy, did he vent about the Yankees. It was just a great guy. So my condolences to him and the family, to the family. I know Steve's watching above and will continue to watch and continue. And I'm breaking down a bit. And I'm sorry about that because that's how much he meant to me. And Tom, I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. Rest in peace, Steve.
My condolences to you, Rich. Losing a friend. It's not easy when you lose somebody that you care for and you developed a relationship with for many years. So
he
rest
was.
in peace to your friend Steve, and condolences to you and his family as well.
He was special. Rest in peace, Steve. Tom, that wraps it up for this. We had a great hour or more. Thank everyone for commenting. If we didn't get to your comments, we're trying to put them up now. And I want to thank everyone for watching again and subscribe to my channel, YouTube, Rich Mancuso. I'd appreciate that. And Tommy D Sports Talk, String Punk Entertainment, and of course, like the Keep It in the Ring page. Thanks again to the champ, the takeover, Teofimo Lopez. Again, he was great. He's still texting me, thanking me. Says the questions were great. And Tom, he loved talking to you.
I'm glad to hear it. I mean, I'm hoping maybe I can get him on and we can have a discussion, an open discussion. And, I just want to, like I said, it's certain questions that I think, and I think it will do him good. It's not going to do him any bad, but he needs to clean up some of the things he said. We kind of held accountable for it. And then, he can go back as to why he said certain things. That's what I wanted to get at. And then why he didn't, certain fights didn't.
No, you'll get another chance. You'll get another chance. And most of all now.
Anybody, Rich.
Hey,
I give everybody their just due and their respect.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, inside that ring, you can't say nothing bad about Teofimo.
No.
I mean, here and there we criticize and stuff.
Right.
He's a two-division world champion.
And it was great having him. I had my doubts, but he came on, and I'm extremely grateful to the champ again, Teofimo Lopez. And you'll get him. You'll see him at ringside.
He came on as well because, listen, he's a man of his word, right? And he kept his word with you, and you're my friend, and this is your show, and he owned up to his word and he came on. So I thank him as well.
Well, you know what? It's your show as well. My gratitude again to you each and every week. Putting up with me, loading the images. You do a lot for me behind the scenes. And there's more to come, including next week. We'll be back at you again, probably Thursday Night Live, 8 p.m. Eastern, here at Keep It in the Ring on my YouTube channel and Tommy D Sports Talk Facebook page live. It's Keep It in the Ring. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, fans. If you like this hour, you're going to like it as we keep going. I'm not going to take as much time off as I've had this past few months because of baseball. It's over. Enjoy the World Series. Sports with Rich and Tom will come at you. We'll let you know. Watch your social media. X, Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, also on Instagram. Tom, as I always tell everyone, of course, God bless. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Right back at here. And Tom, as we always say, great show. But what do we say?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your continued support. See you next week. Thank you.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.